All right, here we go. Ready? And we're ready.
Please don't murder me. No, I'm good.
All right, guys, here we go. Welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. My name is Johnny Ray Diaz.
What's up, guys? I'm Aaron Arnold.
And I'm Austin Arnold.
And we're a couple of buddies living in Hollywood, just trying to make it through this town as actors, filmmakers, and all that fun stuff. And today, got a special guest with us tonight. Actually, not even tonight, I guess today. We got Rafael Leyva at DP, right? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Appreciate you coming out, man.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate this, man.
That's nice of you to welcome. It's been a while, right? I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been like 3 years.
It has been a while, right? Yeah.
I was talking about it with my girlfriend today. My girlfriend and I met on the same set that me and Johnny met. They're actually both cast members from the same feature.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So we met on this feature called
Crazy Feature.
Sinister Squad.
Sinister Squad.
So tell us about your experience working on that set.
Oh my God. Dude, you know, it's one of those sets that you look back and you're like, man, those were the years where you were young. And
It was a few years ago, right?
it was a couple years ago, but I mean, a lot has changed ever since. I know, it sounded like it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was really 4 years ago, if anything.
I remember the days when we shot on real cameras.
Back in the day. No, this film was totally a testament in as far as creativity, pushing creativity with no money. And I think we shot it in like 10 days or 11 days. It was ridiculous. It was like a new record for this specific production company. And I think the best part about the film was that I met this really crazy group of actors that we all kind of became friends, and throughout the years we all still keep in contact.
Well, and you also met your girlfriend.
And I also met my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, her too,
Yeah.
Wait, she was an actress, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one was she?
She was Goldilocks.
Of course, man.
Sounds so weird to say. It's so fucking weird. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, she was Goldilocks. You were Rumpelstiltskin. What?
Rumpelstiltskin, man.
Rumpelstiltskin.
How could you forget old Rumpy?
My favorite shot of the movie was with this guy, and then they cut it, and I was like, I fucking hate these people.
Wait, what shot was
the
it?
shot?
He was murdering. He was killing.
And maybe for the folks at home, like, what was this movie?
Yeah. What
Okay,
is
this is
about?
basically a B-class movie that pays homage to Monster Squad, the original from the 80s, except the script was constantly changed. So there was a lot of improvised story elements. And I mean, it was just a lot of fun, dude. It was just like really cool. My favorite shot was you killing this woman. I forgot her. She was played by this girl called Talia, and it was like the blue girl, the blue demon or something. And she was Talia's skin tone is very, very, very dark. So it's very beautiful to light her skin tone with blue light. I remember, and it was like the first time that I played with like blue steel, which is like an actual gel.
Oh, I thought that was. Yeah, I thought that was Zoolander.
No, sorry. Blue Steel's Blue Steel's from Zoolander. The gel's called Steel Blue.
Ah,
yeah.
A little bit different. For
A little bit
don't
different.
know.
Flip it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's cool, man. Yeah, it was definitely a weird movie because I remember some days looking at the call sheet and we're like, we're shooting 18 pages today. Yeah, that sounds like we're gonna get that done.
I have friends who sometimes are like, man, how do you make it? How do you become a featured EP and all this stuff? And you know, and keep in mind, I'm only 34, but I've been shooting, luckily, fortunately enough, since I'm like 27 or 28. But it's kind of like where you really cut your teeth. Those features are so important because you go in there. I remember Sinister Squad, there was a day I did 54 setups. Like, that's insane.
Right? Yeah.
And what is the average?
That's insane.
You know, on a normal A-list picture, they're doing a page a day?
No, on a normal A-list picture, you're looking at 3.5 pages a day, 4 pages, 5 of any. But like, it's more around the 25 something setups a day.
Yeah.
You know, but you also structure everything. Everything's bigger. Everything's relative. You know, because a setup could be shoot Aaron this way, and then another setup is shoot Austin. My bad. I won't forget anymore because I love Austin.
I was impressed you got my name.
I know. I just met everyone, and you guys gave me a beer, and it probably has a roofie in it.
It does, dude. Just keep sipping it slowly.
It's I don't know why I feel cold.
We like. I don't know why. It explains the jacket.
I don't know why I can't feel my legs.
Nice, man. No, that's really cool. We want to get more into that too, but I know you have a pretty cool story about you starting out. So why don't you kind of talk about where you're from originally, and how you actually kind of even got started in the whole industry.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, before I say anything, it's funny. This story took me years to be like cool about it.
Really?
Yeah, because when it all went down, it kind of like society. That's the thing about society. We live through it as filmmakers, but when you're in like the dark times or in a dark tunnel,
yeah,
it's weird how society behaves with you. And that kind of put perspective on me and the way I looked at life. And I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I come from like an awesome, educated, super cool, middle-class family. They used to have it all, and then something happened in my family where I was like 12 or 13 years old. So I saw some stuff go down, and that kind of scarred me, and I basically put myself in front of what my family is and said, I have to work really hard to achieve what I want to be, and I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. But it's tricky because when you grow up in the Caribbean, people would want you to play, sports or do something like a doctor or engineer or basketball and all that stuff. So it was really interesting to grow up there because I had the best childhood, but once in a while, I had to endure like the weirdest social pressure of having to play sports and all this shit. And it's interesting, I come from like a really tall artsy family from Puerto Rico, where there's not that many tall people. There's not, sports and music and all that stuff I wasn't really good at.
What sports are big in Puerto Rico?
Oh man, we're like the shit in volleyball. We're awesome, obviously, in baseball.
Yeah.
Surfing.
For people that don't know, how tall are you?
6'6".
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You'd been great in volleyball.
And I killed it a little bit in volleyball. I had my little moment. It didn't get me anything. I remember trying to impress this hot girl in a tournament. This is a true story. I was trying to impress this hot girl in a tournament. And I did the whole she shows her feathers. I showed my feathers. And then
showing your feathers?
Well, when a girl gives you a look and she poses and then you do the same. And then all of a sudden the coach lets you in. Oh. And I misplaced myself in the play, and the ball hits you so hard in the head that knocks you down. It's kind of embarrassing. You can't really recover from that.
I do the six pack in the face. I know, dude.
That's basically it.
And that was the moment in your life you're like, I'm gonna become a filmmaker.
That's it. That was it. No, but it's interesting. Since I was very young, I would take my mom's car. I would go to Blockbuster and get all these movies, and I would break them down. It was my favorite thing to do was to study film. And then my best friend went to NYU Gallatin. So Jordan Lau, his mom taught me English. Well, technically I learned English in American school, but his mom, Marty, is a white woman from Arkansas. She was like my second mom. So I would speak Spanish in my house, and then I would speak English in Jordan's house. And then when we graduated high school, I took 1 year off, and I went to school in San Juan in the best telecommunications school, and they had a film program. But as soon as I went in, I was rather kind of a punk in all aspects of it, like for real, and like anarchy and all that bullshit. And and I walk in and I'm like, man, this is not what they don't have the resources for what I want to do. And I had a specific vision of life. The other day, my friend Christian called me. He used to be my roommate, and he was like, man, I can't believe fucking 15 years ago you call me and you say, I'm gonna leave to the U.S. and I'm going to take my student loan rebate, and I'm going to go buy a one-way ticket to New York City. And I did. And I did that I remember in February, and it was for September 1st, 2004. I landed in New York City with 2 suitcases. I left a gorgeous girlfriend back home, an awesome job. I was like a gelato chef for some reason. It's so funny, but it's true. It's so true. My friend
gelato, huh?
Yeah, no, for real. I had these really wealthy friends, and I think what happened was Puerto Rico had this law called the Jones Act. So anyone that moves down there, or you make a business, you don't pay for taxes for 20 years. So a lot of like businesses were booming. So basically, my friend was like, "I'm gonna make the first ever gelato restaurant." So they brought over these Italian gelato chefs, and I was caught in the middle of it while I was just trying to smoke weed and surf. And they taught me. I got certified, and when I was 18 years old, I was making like a really good salary.
Nice.
Getting stoned, surfing, and just doing gelato. Hey,
And you still make gelato?
I do not.
Oh, dude, come on.
I could probably fuck up a batch. I could probably Breaking Bad this thing right now.
Were your parents supportive? Like when you took that check and you?
No, they didn't even know.
Oh wow.
They didn't even know. No,
because you were on your own by then. You were living.
Oh yeah, I've always been the black sheep of my family. Like I love my brother and my sister. They're actually now living in LA and at USC. They go to dramatic school of arts.
Nice.
Yeah, for their drama program for I think master's degree.
So they're becoming actors?
Yeah, no, they're incredible actors. My brother Gabriel, he's a very well known, respected. I would say famous too, because I guess it's kind of funny. I was shooting something in Puerto Rico. Like I've gone back home to shoot pictures back home, American productions, and I've had people stop me and they go, "Hey, are you the brother?" And I know where the conversation's going. I just stop them and I go, "Yeah."
He's famous for what?
He's an incredible theater actor.
Oh,
wow. So how would
He's just
know
like
it?
the bomb.
What productions are?
Oh, so many plays. At least like I don't know, just top of my head, like. He did Don Quixote,
Okay.
like the national play, and went around the world. And
so it's like a touring production.
Yeah,
stuff.
no, he's just like killer. He's
where
just
the
like
big money is, the touring.
He's just awesome. So, anyways, back to the story. I finally moved to New York City. This is so crazy. Okay, so I moved to New York City, and I had 2 suitcases, $500, and I tell the taxi driver, it's September 1st, and I tell the taxi driver, "Hey man, take me to a Walmart." So he takes me to a Walmart in Queens. I think, yeah, in Queens.
Okay.
Near this town called Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
Right? So I buy a tent. I buy a $50 tent. And
wow.
Yeah. And then, I was super surfer right out of high school.
Yeah.
Film buff nerd.
So you didn't have a place to stay? You didn't have a job?
No, because Jordan was moving in. Jordan was still in Puerto Rico partying it up in a yacht.
Man,
and I moved to New York without speaking to him, because I spoke to him during the summer, and I bumped into him and he said, "Hey, are you gonna come to New York anytime?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I plan to." And he's like, "All right, you can crash on my couch." That was it. That was my entire agreement and contract with my best friend Jordan. But Jordan landed in September 6th.
So for 5 days.
So for 5 days, I went and I camped out in a Korean neighborhood, and it was really beautiful. And then the second night at like 3 a.m, I'm not joking, there's like flashlights waking me up in my tent. I'm like, oh my god, this is like Close Encounters. Holy shit! Right?
Was the cops? Or?
Yeah, it was the cops.
Yeah.
And the cops looked at me. He's like, "Hey man, you can't be here. You can't stay here. You got to go back." And I'm like, for some reason back then I didn't have like an accent whatsoever, because I would speak English constantly when I was in Puerto Rico. So like I really passed as an Upper West Side like Jewish kid to them,
Yeah.
being rebellious to his or her parents.
Got you.
So they were like, "Listen, bro, you gotta go back home, man."
Yeah.
Like I remember one of the cops was like, "Look, man, whatever you're going through, just go back home, bro."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Just grab your yarmulke and get out of here, buddy.
"Get the fuck out." And then but the funny part is, okay, so the sweet thing was, there was a woman across the street seeing all of this, and there was this Korean lady, and she invites me in, and I go, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Hey, why don't you stay here for the night? If you like, for the next 2 or 3 days, you can stay, and you can just help me around." I walk in.
Wow.
Her house is decked out with memorabilia from her son, who passed away in the Gulf War, dude.
And you looked exactly like him.
That would be amazing. and then I realized that my name is not Rafael.
And then you realize this is your real mom, and then we got an A-list picture.
Yeah, yeah, dude, that was hilarious.
Wow.
No, and it was kind of creepy, and I was like, "Oh, poor her." And I cleaned for her, and I stayed there, and then Jordan landed, and then I took a taxi to West 4th and University Plaza or something like that. And I got off the cab. I just turned 20, and I was like, man, the world, you know? You're so young, and you're like...
Yeah.
When were you guys when you were 20? Were you in Ohio?
Yeah, we were in Ohio.
Still in Ohio.
In
Still
college.
in Ohio?
Yeah.
In college. We moved out here after college.
What about you?
At
Ray?
20, I think I was working at a bank, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I could totally see you.
Right out of high school, I was working at a bank for, I think, 5 years or something.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So you think
Not
people
really.
who work at banks are
Not
skilled,
really, dude.
I love that. Someone would be like, dude, that's awesome. You would have a lot of money. And I was like, no, bro. It doesn't have
I
nothing
wouldn't
to
be
do with that.
sitting here right now if I did.
right.
Yeah, that's just not the way it works, man. But dude, that's awesome, man. So like, what was like the initial? I guess was there any shock coming to like a huge city compared to Puerto Rico? Like, I mean, like obviously New York is a massive town.
San Juan's awesome, but yeah, when I landed in New York,
It's a concrete jungle, you know. I mean,
yeah. That's why
so,
I was thinking about that this morning, actually. But I was incredibly in awe and in love with New York City.
Did you ever see that lady again?
No, that would be a great visit, man. That would be so nice.
That sounds unbelievable what you did.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy, man. Sometimes I look back at it and I'm like, wow, dude, that's not like, whoa. That's like, I do not recommend anyone to do that. But I'm very proud of it. And I remember there was a girl that wanted to have sex with me in San Juan.
Nothing new.
And we dated. And for some reason, apparently, she wanted to get with me. I didn't see the signs. I thought she just wanted to be a friend.
You were a film nerd. You could come on, man.
She was so hot too.
Dude.
And she told me, hey, I got your message. You're in New York. And I said, yeah, I'm actually staying tomorrow with my friend Jordan. He moves back. And she's like, oh, great. Well, come to my house. You can stay here. There's an extra room. And I actually stayed in her extra room at her mom. Super chill. So they gave me a roof for one night. The next day I went to New York City.
Nice.
And I remember buying all the NYU books. And I remember getting a curriculum from this kid called Andy. He was going in for directing and producing. And I couldn't afford NYU, and I really wanted to be part of Tisch. I really was just like, God, dude, I really want to study in this school. Martin Scorsese and all this bullshit. And I think by then, one of my favorite movies was Goodfellas.
Great movie.
Yeah, right?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Just kidding.
I'm out. This is done.
That's it.
No, but the funny thing is that when I was there, I crashed a cinematography class, man, and that's when it clicked. And I remember it was Kill Bill Volume 1.
Good.
I like number 2 the best.
You do?
Because it's more of a story, right?
It kind of has a lot of the parts of the story, yes. And then I remember having a laptop and just living in my friend's couch for so long, just trying to, like, educate myself and walk up and down Manhattan. Every time there was a spring break, I had to find a place to crash.
So did you know that you wanted to be a cinematographer ahead of time? Like you're
No,
like, I want to work in
I-
film, but you didn't know what you wanted to do, or?
No, I think I was 12 years old when I figured that I wanted to become a filmmaker.
That just means like director, right?
As a director, correct. As a director, not as a producer, as a director, hands-on, fully. But it wasn't until I saw that class, I went to that class, and then it clicked to me. It was like, oh, okay, so everything that I've always loved about cinema is the cinematography.
And what is that? You like the picture that's created?
I see the world in mute. I like to people watch and I like to observe, because the reality is when you watch a movie in mute, it's cinematography. Once you bring in dialogue, then you need a director. So I like to watch the world in mute, and usually the first question that goes through my head when I step on set is where I want my shadows. So when I go through the blocking and I listen to the blocking from my director when he's executing it, I'm just kind of observing where they're landing and kind of like the tonality of the color palette adjusted to that particular moment. That's why I also think that being the cinematographer is so cool, because you really are like you're the scientist of the moment.
Well, I mean, the whole movie is gonna.
It's
you're shooting the whole thing, so your image is going to be on there. Like that's what people are going to see. So like that's what a whole movie is. I mean, it's a big part of it. It's a huge part of it.
Absolutely. And depending on the lens, depending on how it feels, where you put the camera, it feels this way. How close you put the camera, what lens you use, how tighter or wider, and why this color, why this highlight, all this stuff. And
what's a movie that you think really this is the kind of cinematography I like, this is the kind of movie that inspires me? Like,
oh my God, that's a tough one, but
it doesn't have to be.
Well, I'll give you a few. From a cinematographer's point of view, or you mean like in overall?
Inspires you as a cinematographer.
Oh, as a DP, 7.
That's a great movie.
I think anyone in their DP career who's a DP has come across a time in their career where they have someone suggest, hey, can you make it look like 7?
Really? Oh,
I think so.
Well, what is it about that?
It's just a very beautiful, well done, gritty, low light look.
Yeah.
That if you nail it, everything else is easy. It's actually harder to shoot darker than it is to shoot brighter, in my opinion. But obviously, it just depends. It's all relative. It depends on the script.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's all about the script. Yeah. Every time I read a script to have my own interpretation. I bring that interpretation to the director, but it's his vision. He's the author of the book, so therefore I embed my vision towards his.
Right. So whatever they want, you're trying to achieve it. You're trying to achieve it. Yeah.
Yeah, and see what happens.
So you formally didn't really go to film school other than that one class, right?
No, I crashed it. It was 5 months crashing in and out. Yeah. If I really put it together, it was like 5 months of in and out. But again, in and out within like.
See that beer's finally kicking in, dude.
I love it.
I put that stuff in there, and it's
like.
And then you drift off.
Hey, you want another, by the way?
I would love another one.
I got you.
Can we do this? Yeah. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
This is the best show ever.
Pretty chill.
That's a hangout.
That soundbite. Get that soundbite on there.
Hey, you guys want to order some food? Or?
Yeah, actually, we got Actually, that woman that you stayed at that house with, she's actually here, by the way. You didn't know. Surprise guest. Come on in.
Do you imagine, dude?
Her name was Gladys, by the way.
And she's like my mother. She's like, listen, we got to talk. I'm actually your mom. And for some reason, I'm like, that explains a lot.
Yeah. She stole my ficus plant. Yeah. No, man, that's really cool. But so then, how did you eventually gravitate toward working on a set? You're in New York.
I'm in New York,
and all that.
I'm in New York, and I'm hustling, dude. I remember I would go to Kinko's, and I would print I would have 45 resumes, and then I would walk up and down Manhattan between crashing school, 5 months periodically. So I would have to do 5 months, disappear for 2 months, and then go back 5 months because it's illegal.
Whoa.
It's illegal. Whoa. So the way that it happened for me, it was that one of the nights that it was spring, my best friend Jordan, they all had to leave, and I was really good at having an apartment, and then I would lose them because just work was so tough, and being 20 or 21 in New York City without any financial backbone, working in retail, you're bound for disaster. So you're usually living in that 4-bedroom apartment where you pay for one room and you don't know anyone in your house. You could die any night. Night, that knife is gonna come.
That's
Same
the
as
romance. That's the romance.
That's the romance. That's the ballet. You just gotta warm up your shoes and go to sleep. So,
by the way, they're looking for a roommate. If you,
yeah, dude, I don't know.
I'm just.
Oh, for real?
Just kidding.
That'd be awesome. No, but the thing was that once he went on a spring break, I got sick, and I remember going to work, and I worked at Quicksilver in Times Square at a retail.
Wait, Quicksilver, the seafood place, right?
Quicksilver,
no? I was thinking of
Quicksilver, the superhero.
Yeah.
Long John.
Yeah, Long John Silver. That's right, the clothing store. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember now.
For surfing, man.
Yeah, I remember now.
Holy shit!
I just pictured one because we have
I
Long John
was
Silver's.
working in Nintendo. Wait, Nintendo, the
jet-
biochemical prostitution house?
Exactly.
Well, you have one too? I didn't do that.
I have one too. I have 2 memberships.
Nice.
So I was working in Quicksilver, and I was making $450 bi-weekly.
Nice.
You made it.
I was killing it, right? So it was like basically food and rent. That was it. But obviously, when you're young, you're like rent
Or clothes
or kicks, and then you would go for the kicks. But that particular time was interesting because that spring break, Jordan left, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta find a place to crash for this whole week. And that was usually okay because I would have friends and I would trade. Hey, I'll cook for you if I can crash in your house and all that shit.
Gelato.
I'll make some gelato for you. And I got sick, and I remember my friend tells me, come to my church and I'll help you out. And I'm like, God damn it. I don't want to deal with
Well, that sounds
I don't
nice.
want to deal. I know, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with the religion right now, dude. I'm like dying.
I'm not trying to be
I have a
converted.
fever, and I'm 21 and I want to find a place to sleep,
Yeah.
and I want to watch Kill Bill Volume 1, So I get to the church, and I remember it's one of these church that you give 10% of your income to.
Yeah.
And I go upstairs, and I storm up upstairs. There's a shitload of beds available, and I'm like, oh my God, I really want to sleep. And I don't go, but I ask permission. My friend comes out. He's like, oh yeah, he's my friend. Please help him. I'm gonna go rehearse for the band. Ta ta. I remember he did ta ta. I remember he said ta ta.
Pretentious.
Very pretentious.
Yeah.
A ta ta. It's a very pretentious thing.
Sure.
Anyone listening to this, if you ever tell anyone ta ta,
I'll stop saying that. Sorry.
you're screwing people over.
And you know what? If you don't agree, if you disagree with that, let us know in the comment section.
Yeah. But basically, he left, and the church guy said, look, we can't help you. I'm like, you have a bunch of beds upstairs. Why can't I just stay upstairs?
Selfish.
Well, why couldn't they help you?
He goes, oh, those beds are taken. And I'm like, you're the devil. And he's like, you're the devil. And I'm like, I am. And no. So basically, he's like, but I'll call you a cab. So he called me a cab.
Which you'd have to pay for? Or?
No, he paid for it.
Just get the hell out of here.
He paid for it. But check this out. I lost my shoe in the cab because they threw me in the cab because I was dying of a fever.
Oh, wow.
The cab takes me to St. Mary's Joseph Hospital
They don't want liability.
on 60th and Columbus Circle. Look this up. I swear to God. Or 59th Street in Columbus Circle. I love that you all were about to look for a pen
somebody
and
do
paper.
it.
I love this.
Done on my phone.
But whoever's listening to this is true. And I get there, and when I get to the ER, the woman looks at me like, "Wow, you look like shit." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So they take me to the back.
Yeah, I get
Is
it.
that a medical
Yeah.
diagnosis?
Yeah, right. So I get a diagnosis, and then she puts me in the bed, and the fever and the back pain and everything. They thought I had meningitis.
Ooh.
So I didn't know what meningitis was, but all I knew is that it kills you
dying.
in 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's an uncontrollable fever that attacks your bones and you rot away. I don't know what happens.
Pretty much the worst thing ever.
Pretty much the Ebola virus times 2.
Yeah.
Maybe not times 2 because the Ebola virus is
It's pretty bad.
Times 1.5.
yeah, it's at least 1.5.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're in the hospital. They flip me over and they tap my spinal tap, and I come out negative. The night was a blur. I leave the hospital at 5 a.m. It's drizzling. The sun's coming out. I'm walking towards the subway station.
Golden hour, right?
No, that's that's at the end. The sun's coming up. I take the subway back to NYU area because I have a way to crash in through the building because there was one of the guards that just would let me
you go.
in. Right? So I said, I'll fucking sleep in the library, bro.
There you go.
Give me a book. Right? I go back, and as soon as I come out of the library, kid you not, there was a massive production a block away from NYU.
What production
And
was it?
It was, check this out, it was Reign Over Me by Adam
Adam
Sandler.
Sandler, yeah.
Good film.
That was the actual first time that I ever got hired on a feature, or like not on a feature,
By
but an
walking
actual-
by?
And
well,
Don Cheadle, by the way.
and Don Cheadle, and it was a very depressive film. But I remember
You stole his lunch.
I walked by and I went and I had my spiel as usual because I would walk up and down Manhattan.
All right,
What
hold
is
on,
your
hold-
pitch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're producers in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Give us your pitch to get on set.
Remember
buddy.
those 45 copies of resumes,
Yeah.
right? So my spiel was, "Hi, my name is Rafael Leyva. I would love to work for you for free. I'm currently studying film, and if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Like that, but just like straight up
So you're,
holding the resume,
Yeah.
or handing it in front of an AD,
That's
a
bold.
production manager, or a key set PA. And
So-
that was kind of like those three were my aim. But if I could get the first AD, that was the best part.
Right.
that was my question.
And after the 90th try, they looked at me and they go, sure. And then
Nice.
And then I went. My first mission ever, guys, was
Bring the coffee hot.
Get
Yeah,
Cheetle, get
no.
Cheetle the coffee.
Well, what was your job? What was
My
your-
first job ever was to get 17 coffees. The last one to make sure I order it last. You know what I mean? Like there was a specific coffee that I had to order last.
Adams?
And then
had to
so
be
then I
hot,
come
right?
back when I come back with the coffees, and I thought I took a long time. I thought I was fired. I thought these fucking people.
They don't think I'm coming back.
Yeah, they think I just stole the money. I come back. I was still wearing the hospital bracelet, dude. I remember this.
Damn.
I remember this, and I remember
That's why
wearing.
they hired you. They're like,
and I-
oh my, this guy's really
this guy's a heroin
struggling.
addict. This guy's
We won't have to pay him. He's not going to make it.
Yeah. If he comes back with a coffee, then he's hired.
Then he's
We
hired.
thought he was going to take $20 and just never come back.
So the Starbucks, let's say, is 1,000 feet away, a block away from the actual set. I finally come and get all the coffees, and I walk back with all the coffees, like a giant tower of coffee.
What does Adam get?
And Adam gets I don't remember what it was, but it was a big one. It's a venti.
He needs it. I mean,
And then the AD comes over and says, "Hey, Raph, hold on. Hey, Kevin, come over." And Kevin comes over and tells Kevin, "Take all these coffees away from Raphael. Raphael, take this one coffee, knock on that door, and give it to that talent. And anything they need, you stand by the door and you let me know. You say copy, yes sir, or 10-1 is to pee, 10-2
Right.
is to shed, 10-3
Yeah.
is both,
Yeah.
10-4 is every orifice."
Right.
And it goes on.
10-5, he's dying.
10-7. I had a 10-7 the other day.
What's a 10-7?
It's kind of like when you I can't talk about it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I mean,
He's
10-7.
He's like, even you guys are rated R. You know?
10-7 is like everything, dude.
It's like literally he's going to,
Cry,
Semen.
wow.
semen, sneeze, drool.
Have you ever seen a 10-7?
He had one the other day.
All right.
It's his hang.
It was himself.
Hey guys, it's a 10-7.
Guys, I did it. Make the shot. Make the shot. No, but for real, that wasn't a knock on the door. On the trailer, give him his and
was Adam.
knock on the door. The trailer door opens, and it's Adam Sandler. I kid you not.
What did he say?
I've always said, as soon as I get an opportunity to meet Adam again, I'm gonna tell him he's gonna freak. He's gonna love it because he's a really nice guy. And I remember it was drizzling, and he told me, "Come in." And so I walk in. I'm homeless technically because I can't sign into my NYU dorm because I'm a couch guy in the NYU dorm, and all my personal belongings are there. And I'm now in this trailer for an A-list actor from Hollywood. Dude, this trailer was ridiculous. This trailer's as big as this apartment right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was insane for that door to open and then have a trailer this big. You're a working actor, Johnny. Are you both
it.
actors too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
We're all
guys
working.
Never had a trailer this big, so I can only
But
imagine.
imagine a trailer the size of this
I've seen
apartment.
the ones
right now.
like folds out and gets.
That's this.
Yeah.
That was like his, and it was like this massive TV. CNN is on, and he's talking to his wife and his two lovely daughters, and super nice family man.
To invite you in, that's really nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm kid you not. I swear, going live on this. Mark my words. If I see or meet Adam Sandler, I will tell him, "Hey, dude, I brought you coffee, bro."
Okay.
Well, you don't have to because he's watching right now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Appreciate that.
Comment below.
Woo! The goat.
Dude, that's a sweet story though, man.
Yeah, and that's how it started. I worked on that film, then they called me for another film, and then almost every Happy Madison production that went through town would call me. But I was an awful PA. I mean, I was just the worst.
Were you always Adam's guy? Or
No, I was just reliable because I would get the mission done, but I was so fully in love with cameras. I was so attracted by camera.
There wasn't a chance.
And there
to,
was
like, help out
no
on
way. No, there
camera
was
department.
No, it was so hard to break into
Yeah.
camera department.
Yeah.
Especially we're looking into the mid 2000s where film was still on the horizon.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more militant and it was a lot more disciplined. It was a lot more difficult for anyone to jump into a camera department. It would have to be through nepotism, which still works, but it's very different nowadays.
Nobody
Yeah.
records on film now, or
Oh, I shoot on film all the time. I still shoot. Film's still superior.
Yeah. Did you guys shoot Last Rampage on film? That was digital.
I shot Last Rampage on Arri Raw.
Okay.
That is digital capture. I shot it on Arri Raw 2.8K, and I did the color in Photocam. Photocam is amazing. They've been really incredible to me. Panavision, Photocam, and Kodak have been really incredible to me.
The footage on that movie looked really.
I think
looked
honestly,
really nice, man.
thanks, man.
Looked
I really
really
appreciate
good,
that. I think honestly, out of all my pictures, that's one of I would say I'm the most proud of, because I mean, just working with Dwight Little is incredible. He's a proper studio picture director, and it makes a huge difference. He knows what he knows what he wants. He's been around the block for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know,
He's experienced.
Dude, he shot like every he made, what's his name, dude? I forgot. Super cool action guy. Steven Seagal. He made Mark for that, dude, and then he made, that broke Steven Seagal's career. And then he made the Free Willies, and then he made probably our favorite action films from the 90s.
Totally.
Free Willies you made?
The Rock.
The Rock.
You made The Rock?
Well, it was Michael Bay.
That was Michael. Yeah,
Michael Bay.
That was Michael Bay. Yeah, a little
Austin's just
different.
throwing it.
But,
Austin's just
He's
throwing
like,
it.
I was just naming
every
this is
Schwarzenegger movie.
This is
Jurassic
my
Park.
favorite film.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Did it Spielberg? Nah.
Whatever.
Nah, that was.
Actually, The Rock is the best one from the 90s.
Early 2000s.
Dude, so all right, so man, you're working on set with Adam Sandler. How do you finally now you're shooting? You're actually DPing your own movie. How many years was it between then and?
It's been really 15 years in the trajectory, because I fell in love with cinematography when I was 20. It really happened as soon as I landed. It was really funny. It was I walked into that room and I was like, what the fuck?
What were they showing? What were they talking about?
It was Kill Bill Volume 1, and it was theory of camera language and something I forgot, but New York City, the first 3.5 years of New York City, to me was life, bachelor's degree. I found myself as a man, as who am I?
Whoa.
What do I love? What I will be for the rest of my life? What am I going to do with the rest of my life? That question, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Right? And then it was when I moved to Los Angeles, December 2007, during the writer's strike. I actually sold. It's so funny I'm wearing this. I didn't realize you were going to ask me this fucking question. But this watch I'm wearing, I sold this watch to a Dominican guy in Washington Heights in the winter of 2007 to buy a one-way ticket to come to Los Angeles. And I moved to Los Angeles December 18th, 2007.
Wow.
And in Los Angeles, kid you not, a couple days later, I go to a Hanukkah party, go figure. And there was this really cool old guy in the room, and he was wearing a Panavision sweater. And I was like, dude, this guy's fucking badass. I got to say something to him.
I mean, hey.
Hello, right?
Why not, dude?
I'm 23 now, or 24. So I go, my 24-year-old version of me would probably said something like,
Bro.
Yo, bro.
hey, Genesis, awesome. And it's just I laughed. It was just that, right? Because he was wearing a Panavision Genesis camera sweatshirt. And then I kid you not, 2 hours later, I have the most intense, deep cinematography conversation with this guy, right? This guy, at the end, he's like, Rafael, I haven't met someone so enthused and interested in cinematography in a while. And you know so much, and you're so young, and whenever you're ready. And I remember he stands up, he was about to leave and shit. He stands up, and he's like, whenever you're ready, come, give me a visit, come and visit. And he shakes my hand, like in the mob, and he passes me a business card. And it was trippy because when you feel it, it's kind of weird. when it happens,
Surprise.
yeah, when it happens, it's like, this is fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
Right. And the door closes, and I flip my hand, and I look at the card, and it was the vice president of Panavision. Whoa. And that was Andy Ramanoff, and that's truly my mentor.
Wow.
That guy changed my life. That guy changed my life completely.
That's awesome, dude.
For my birthday, a couple months after, he invited me to Panavision to shadow a DP called Shelley Johnson.
Okay.
Shelley Johnson, ASE, and a year ago, around this time, I took out Shelley Johnson out to lunch because we both were prepping feature films in Louisiana.
Wow.
So it was really neat, and that was actually really
full
neat
circle
for me. Yeah, it was really neat. Yeah, actually, I like that. And but Andy was my first mentor, and I was introduced to Panavision, and then to me that became my church. So I would take buses from Hollywood to Woodland Hills. You know how far that is, dude?
It's like probably a 2-hour ride, man.
Dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's almost like 3 actually. But it's still worse, bro.
We should do a podcast on a bus.
Hey.
Bro,
I'm not opposed.
It's literally the worst. And I would spend time in Panavision just meeting people and practicing with cameras and testing every lens. And, and I think less than a year, or a couple months after I came to LA, I met another mentor who his name is John Filippo. He was a line producer in a music video, and he saw me bust my ass off, and he knew what I knew more than normal PAs, and he was just like, dude, you rock. Let's stay in touch. He calls me 2 years later, and he tells me, I'm gonna build my own production company, and we're gonna rep the big budget international commercial directors of the world. Would you like to be the office PA manager or whatever of the production company? And I said, yeah, dude. I was 25 and I had not, like, I needed the money.
Right. Steady gig.
I was doing little DP gigs on the side, but they really sucked. I mean, they were just horrible. Like,
Right. We've all been there as actors. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same
At the
thing.
beginning, you're all doing like stuff.
It's the same thing for everyone, right? You start somewhere. So, and Jeepo was basically like, we have a $1 million budget for the production company. Here's a business card. Go buy the necessary needs that you think that we will need in the next couple of years as far as cinematography. And they start repping the biggest top fucking directors in the world. So I go with a credit card and I go buy all the DSLRs, and that's when the 5D movement exploded. I didn't have any friends. I didn't want any friends, actually. My favorite thing in the world was to work from 9 to 5 in the production company. And when it was closed, I would stay in the studio lot. So I would, instead of walk up and down Manhattan, I would now walk up and down the studio lots and
trying to get jobs.
And give away my resume. Yeah. And I would do that nonstop for a year or two in Los Angeles, broke into many studio lots. And the trick was that every time I booked something, I would take the food that's left over, because there's so much food on set.
Yeah.
That leftover, I would give it to the guards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
every
time
would let you back
So
on.
when they would see me, they don't even want my ID. I just wave at them.
Wow.
So then it became.
You're a real hustler.
Oh, dude, it's literally my life.
Wow, that's a good idea.
And that's how it. And that's how really it started. I remember booking a PA gig on Without a Trace in the Warner Brothers lot. And I worked one PA gig and they didn't need me the next day. Dude, I stayed in that lot. I'm not joking. I think like 2 more days.
Really?
I was so stinky by the time that I left.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, I got to go home.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know. It's a lifestyle. You really got to love it.
Well, you do have to hustle for sure. So
I love cinema, so to me, it felt really natural. It's always felt very natural, my approaches to how to achieve certain things. But you always need help. Jeepo made it happen because within that production company, I had all these cameras, and I had all these cameras, and in the production company at night, all these big top fucking directors, they would see me on the floor with all these lenses, and they're like, "What's up with that K?" And I was like, "Oh no, he has a great eye, whatever." Right. So what would happen is in the big budget commercials that they would produce, I would volunteer, and for free, I would be the set photographer. So my first days
Still
on
photography.
set was really set photography, and the reason why, and it got to the point where like I knew the math, and I would match the math of the cinematographer's camera with my still camera, and take and take really beautiful, pretty cinematic pictures.
What do you mean you match the math?
Well, cinematography's math. So if you really find the equation and get the and level out the right exposure. To me, I look at cinematography like cooking, like being a chef. You have all these ingredients, but you gotta put it all together so
Right.
the plate tastes like really good in cinematography. So it visually looks really good, and it looks seamless, and I remember taking that and applying it to my set photography. And then it got to a point where like the agency saw the stills and they were like, fuck, dude, well, let's get this angle and then this shot. And they're like, no, we don't have that as footage. That was just like the set photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And they're like, oh shit, well, that kid needs to be a camera operator.
Right.
And then all these directors in that production company, they would request for me to be the second unit shooter or a camera
operator
sometimes. And I would work many times. There was a period in my life. There was a period in my first years. I would say in the first 5 years of LA, I can honestly say I would have a fake name in a call sheet because certain producers would want me, but I was in union yet, and
So that's how they got you.
and Hollywood was going through such a transition. We're looking at 2010 through 2013. That era was a significant point in the world of cinematography, especially in Hollywood, because all the really great shooters and big DPs were leaving film and entering digital.
Yeah.
And then the new generation of shooters coming in just from a digital end.
Right.
And that's how the market got flooded.
Now there's everybody's a shooter.
Now it's like my mom and dad bought me an Alexa, I'm on a DP.
Yeah, I've heard
Which is
that on set
retarded.
before. They're like, yeah, I bought an Alexa, or I bought like a Red, and it's like,
You can do it with your phone.
yeah, I don't know, and I'm just gonna do something with it.
Duplass
I'm like,
brothers did it with their phone.
oh, whatever it is.
No, man, it really, and I'm not joking, it's shocking, but it happens so much.
So you
really
went
does.
from. So how did you go from eventually starting to shoot the low budget indies, like let's say Sinister Squad, to then shooting Last Rampage? How did you end up getting Last Rampage?
I got Last Rampage.
And also, would you mind setting up the clip that you brought as well?
Yeah. Play the clip, Bill.
Play the clip, my imaginary friend. Who's Bill?
We're watching the clip right now.
Nah, but the Last Rampage.
we're just kidding.
That has the guy from who's the guy from the Terminator in the Last Rampage? That's a big,
Robert Patrick,
It's a big
man.
movie.
Robert Patrick is awesome.
He's a great
love
dude, man. I
Robert.
worked with him on Scorpion.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. No, I love Robert. I had a line producer that hit me up, and I was in Mississippi shooting a short film for this new director, and I told the line producer, I was like, "Hey, man, that sounds great. Like, please put me in the list, And this director, Dwight. I mean, it's interesting because I went into it being like, I'm not gonna get this. Dwight's insane.
And so for
You know what I mean? Like, Dwight is such a big director.
For people that don't know, and even for us,
Right.
like when a director is considering a DP, like how does it work? They just throw up a couple names in the hat and they just decide what it's going to be. Or how does it work?
Directors usually have like their top three.
Right? They usually work with the same people for the most part.
They get a script and it's attached and they get cast and they're like, okay, great. So let's look at the DP. What DP do you want and why do you want that DP and blah, 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 blah. And it mostly has to do too with the relationship you have with these directors. Some of them
trust you, right?
Yeah, some of them
big
you have
trust.
such a great relationship and you work together. It's such an important, it's a really important factor in filmmaking. A lot of people don't understand it, but the marriage between a director and DP, it has to be like incredible, man. I've had so many directors where like I just know that this is just a gig. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you bump into people that either they suck or just they're not in the same
just
pace of you,
right?
And then you see it in the post, and then you just see it, and you just walk away because you can't politically. You don't want to be rude. You should never be rude or or you should,
Right.
you know. And you also have to play the political game. Honesty can get you, can bite you in the ass. So you have to like,
Yeah, you got to be careful.
yeah, you know. So all that stuff, you know, and Sinister Squad is a perfect example of that.
Classic film.
I loved it.
It's a classic film, man. Shit, dude. I would fucking get a tattoo right now.
It's not too late.
If
man.
I were you listeners, I would fucking go to South Central, buy some crack, and get a tattoo. I'm just kidding.
Send it in. Send in those pics as well. I'd love to see them.
Did they ask you to shoot the second one?
What'd you say?
Did they ask you to shoot the second one?
Did they do a second one?
They did, yeah. But
Oh, wow. See, now I'm pissed.
They wanted Johnny to star.
We should
didn't
go.
do it, but I was
Really?
I was doing something else. So
Did they ask you to do it?
they asked me to do it. Actually,
I
Jeremy.
was joking about the crack and all that
yeah.
stuff. That's hilarious.
Jeremy hit me. You remember Jeremy, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
Jeremy.
Jeremy's cool, man. I like
he's a
working
cool
with
guy.
Jeremy.
Cool guy.
He told me that he was writing another one and that they were
No way.
they were going to do it. And casting called me and they were like, "Hey
love
man,
it.
we want you to do bring back old Rumple." And I was like, "When are you guys shooting?" It was like during Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I got like a vacation plan and I got all this
Yeah.
other stuff going on." I was like, "I can't do it."
You're like,
So they
I
replaced me.
can't hold my life for $5.
It's not my life.
I was like, "You're giving me like a week notice or something." Like, I
Yeah,
don't
some
have-
ridiculous
you know.
production.
I was like, "I can't, man."
Yeah. No, but that's where we all cut our teeth. And I think to answer your question, because of that set photography with those directors, I started shooting more on the side and I started building my reel. And I think by 2012, I shot my first feature. And then I kind of became who I wanted to be, which is kind of tricky, dudes, because by the way, I wouldn't say it's the fucking, it's the healthiest route to take for DPs. There's
To shoot stuff.
the narrative DP route,
What do you mean?
because it's a more lonelier and darker route.
Okay.
And for other DPs, you could do music videos and commercials and make really good money. But then it's tricky. People don't consider you for
To get on the other
narrative.
side.
Exactly.
Right.
So now it's finally paying off. The last three years has been great. And when I got that call from the line producer, he says, "I'm going to put your name on it. And you're going to go on a meeting and you're going to go on an interview and it's going to be proper." And I remember walking in, getting super prepared, read it in a hotel in Mississippi. I was like, this script is so cool, man. This is so cool. And it's based in 1978. I was like, it's a timepiece. Oh, this is awesome, blah, 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 blah. And then, I went through the interview period. The first round, I thought I didn't get it. I don't know if I was nervous or the way that me and Dwight met, because he was a little bit late. And
Called him out on it.
oh yeah, I love it. We're family. We break bread a lot, like he says. He's like an incredible guy and I love him to death. He changed my life, man. He really did. Because I know there were other big DPs involved. I know for sure. I actually found out after. I was like, what? Like this motherfucker has like.
So why do you think he decided to go with you over the other guys?
I think it has to do with maybe my approach, because I remember him seeing my reel and he was like, "See, this is all good and great. This is all beautiful and all this stuff." And it was a third round. It was a third round that I went through, because at first it was like 15 DPs, and then of those 15 DPs, they narrowed down like 5 or 7, and I was included in that. And then it was just between 3.
And you think because of your reel, that's
The whole package.
I think it was kind of like the whole package. Just me kind of like, I don't know. There's a difference. You know, when you work with someone else that it's like really into the project, you can tell the passion of Christ. I got it because of the Passion of Christ, people.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mel Gibson, my agent, got me the Passion of
Good
Christ.
man. What's he doing now?
Yeah. No, but
Daddy's Home.
Hacksaw Ridge 2.
The Beaver.
Right.
That was a good movie. I like that. The Beaver.
Oh yeah,
I like that movie.
I watched it.
Yeah, something.
no, but then that
Jodie Foster's great.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster's great. Was Jodie Foster
Awkward Pause.
Wasn't she in Contact though?
Yeah, First Contact.
I love
I love
Contact.
that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
I
good.
love
And
Contact.
she's a good director too.
Hey, guys, speaking
Really?
of contact, we had a lot of viewers contact us on Reddit, on our social media platforms.
DP questions.
We have
Questions
DP
for
questions.
the DP.
Oh wow!
So
Let's
we're gonna
do
let you
it.
tackle these real quick.
Yeah. And if you have a question out there and you want to submit it to our future guest or us, please hit us up at Surviving Hollywood Podcast on all social media or on Gmail as well.
Please ask us questions. It's my day off.
That's right. So we have 3 here and then about 3 from the text.
Where are these questions coming from?
From
these
actual
ones,
people that are interested in
online.
Oh, that's awesome.
Reddit. I got these on Reddit.
Your answer would be like actual people in prison. We pulled it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Hey, wherever they're watching, I don't care.
Fine, yeah.
Hey, man.
All right. This is a question. I'm not sure the guy's name. I'm a cinematographer, 25 years old, about 4 professional years of experience.
Did he ask this question? I'm just kidding.
Are you 25?
No.
Right.
That caught me
His
off guard.
25-year-old self.
That was really funny. I was like, am I 25?
Right now, I am a big fish in a small regional pond, and I want to move to LA/a bigger pond ASAP. When is the right time? What do I need to know?
Well, first off, congrats in being the big pond. I mean, the big fish in a small pond, because I have friends like that and they really hold on to it. I would say hold on to that. That's beautiful. We're living in an era. It's now 2019. I started this quest of becoming a cinematographer when 2004. So this person who made this question, you're 25 years old, buddy. You're ahead of the curve. I would hold on to that, because your generation has the leadway and has the privilege of digital, where you can work remotely from certain places. And that's why a lot of the tax incentives come from these different states, which is why Hollywood is producing a lot more feature films outside of town than in town. It's only because of tax incentives. Why? Because of digital. Because you don't need a film lab close by to develop and process your film for dailies.
You just send the footage.
So whoever this person is, buddy, I'm stoked that you're the big fish in the small pond. I would hold on to that. And if you want to move out to LA, I would do it when you have a job, and you could maybe network and do it from where you're at right now.
Nice.
Or I would set up meetings and come out for a week, crush them, But where does this person? Can we tell where are they from?
I assume Columbus.
I always wish we have more details.
Okay, cool. Where are you?
He's no longer with us.
Okay.
He's living in a tent and on Sunset right now.
That's how you
He's
do
like,
it.
man, if I'd only heard this advice sooner.
This guy's killing it.
All right, good. Next question.
All right.
I work right now as a cinematographer / focus puller. Still learning every day. I can't seem to talk with actors. I'm assuming when he's a cinematographer, they don't seem to respect what I say. How do I? I guess.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I guess from a.
Oh my god.
He has some sort of opinion.
So the weird thing is, that was the question. They don't seem to respect what I say? Question mark.
Okay, well, look, first off, buddy. Dude or dudette.
I think it's a dude. I think.
Okay. Never tell anyone that people don't respect you, because I've learned it the hard way, and it's weird, but on set, you really, whether it's in our industry or not, in Hollywood, you kind of like have to like, whoever disrespects you, just gotta let it brush off, because it becomes a disrespect where it becomes, that whole like bullshit
Turns into a thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So for his answer is, first off, you're not supposed to be talking to actors unless you're spoken to,
Yeah.
Wait, but as a cinematographer, not as a.
We should talk to the director.
I as a DP do not speak to to the actors unless I'm spoken to first, and unless the director already introduces me. But that's how I roll. I guess, and that's actually better too, because then they love you, and
right?
Especially with
the director's the one you need. Like, he's the one that you need to talk to.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, hey, buddy, first off, you should like not be so chatty. Don't worry so much about being chatty with the directors. I mean, with the actors, focus more on your craft.
Is it you do that because, as an actor, a lot of times if you get multiple different things coming at you, you don't know what to do? It's just better to than one source of information.
No, it's just simply that actors, like cinematographers, they're not supposed to. A proper cinematographer doesn't speak to the actors. Directors are the only one that speaks to the actors. And if you speak to the actor, it's for technical purposes. For example,
right?
Like, hey, where you're landing, it's gorgeous.
Missing the mark or something.
But there's a little nose shadow that you look amazing. But just in case, if you really want your power shot, if you land left on your hip and just right here on this mark, you look fucking stellar. Yep. And actors appreciate that. Actors are like, fuck yeah, dude, I love that. Who's this DP?
I appreciate that.
So I think
who's that Rumbles kid?
Does their voice get that deep too, or what?
Sweet.
So
I like
question. That was good. That was a good answer. I like it.
yeah.
All right, cool. We're gonna jump on over. Who gave you these questions, Johnny?
These were other filmmakers.
Big fish in little pond, reveal yourself.
I haven't read these ahead of time, so you just asked.
Let's take a look and see. All right. What do you wish more directors would do to make your job easier?
Just be better directors.
Stay out of my way.
If you don't know, you'll never.
No, just be better directors, really.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Easy.
Ouch. I thought you said respect everybody. Hold on a second.
No, I am. No.
I'm kidding.
Let me answer that
It's
better.
a practical thing.
No, the thing that's a very relative question because it has to do with, I guess, a director who's not doing well. But when you have a director that's like incredibly professional and knows his shit, like a true film director, like he knows about every department but a lot, then you're safe. Then you don't have to change anything, you know?
Good. I actually had a question to kind of come off of that. So, all right, you've worked on Last Rampage, so you had like Robert Patrick, Heather Graham. We all know who they are.
Awesome.
She's great.
And also you DP'd The Oath on Crackle, a couple episodes of that.
Yeah.
So what would you say is like, okay, thinking
tough.
about those.
Have you guys watched it?
No,
I haven't seen it before.
I really want people's opinion, but
We've seen the trailer. It looks really cool.
We watched
Yeah.
the Rampage in preparation.
Yeah, I've seen the last Rampage.
I would say The Oath is my first picture where it was not about the cinematic. It was more about like the format, you know?
Okay. Of whatever they needed for the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have to match whatever the rest of the
Right, because it's a
look
TV
like.
show. It's a showrunner. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a different. TV's different.
Yeah.
The director's not the most powerful guy on set. It's the showrunner.
The showrunner, producers, and stuff
and
like
the
that.
producers. Yeah, and the writers are gods, and the DP's usually used more for the look, for the aesthetics, to keep it.
Just keep this
consistent.
Stay
flowing.
consistent. Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So, working on those two types of productions, which are obviously higher caliber, we all want to be at. What did you notice in terms of the actors compared to like actors working on low budget stuff? Like, what about them sets them apart from like actors that are working on these lower budget things? Like, is it the professionalism? Like, they just know their shit? Like,
It's just the professionalism, really. Yeah, once you step into tier 3 budget stuff, everyone's just on their game.
Did you notice?
I was blessed because I was not only, I don't know if I mentioned this. Did you know that The Oath was shot in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I did.
Which
is cool because you get to go back home, man.
It was a complete coincidence, man.
Yeah.
I remember in the interview, at the end of the interview, they seemed really pleased. And I was going to take out my portfolio of everything that I prepped before. Because usually when a big show hits me up, you can find me somewhere in Lake Arrowhead, cooked up in a guest house, going and studying and breaking everything down. Like I love my job, and I breathe and live cinema. It's like what I love to do. So when you send me a script and you're gonna meet me on Monday, rest for sure that Rafael is not partying Saturday night.
For sure.
I'm actually prepping to meet you, to blow your fucking mind, and then figure out how we're gonna do this.
So we can all party later.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So when I met the studio execs from Sony and the director and another executive at Sony, it was really cool, man. That was one of the studio lots I used to break into.
And now you're
8
welcome,
years
don't you?
ago.
Now they gave you the keys.
Now I have my own parking spot. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, that'd be.
But then it's all relative. Everything's all relative, and that's why I consider myself still very young. I'm still like, there's so many layers, and it's all relative. Within the studio system, I've learned that there's also another high school within the studio system. It's all relative. So it was interesting that with Sony, in the interview, I take out my all the stuff that I've been prepping, and they're like, no, we don't want to even see it. You know, we just wanted to meet you. We love your work, and
cool. They've already done their homework.
They saw Let's Rampage. They already saw their homework, so everything's very professional.
Yeah,
you know, so everything's just like you take that notch and you just like whoop, you just everything's incredible.
11.
Exactly, 11. You go to 11.
Everybody's at this level, as opposed to like some people are kind of
as
like
opposed
over
to
here, or like
as opposed to when you and I met. When I met Johnny, I knew this. I knew this guy was like a professional actor. There's so many things on set that if you watch, you can tell. Okay, this person in 10 years is just going to be like ridiculous.
This person gets it.
And it's lethal.
It's too bad that was 10 years ago. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, but you know, in all aspects, and our work, there's it's different. You know, the way I see it is when I go to work, I feel like I'm gonna go to work. So
yeah,
and as an artist, it becomes personal and I'm emotional about it. You know, if you go to visit a cardiologist, you don't go over the cardiologist and say, "Hey, you think you want to cut that vein?" No, you motherfucker. You leave the cardiologist alone.
Right.
So in film, I think maturing is really the word mature. The word maturing is the key to this whole conversation in this podcast, because it's really what separates. It's the name of the episode 7, maturing. It's really what separates you from the big boys and the minor leagues, and it's really how to handle these egos and these.
Right.
It's all relative, man.
Yeah.
It never changes. There's all the personalities and the egos, and it's just bigger money, you know. And but I'm glad that The Oath was a really beautiful experience, because I got to go back home.
Dude, that's full circle completely, man.
Full circle.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say it was a very nostalgic trip though, because going back and seeing Puerto Rico, the way it got hit by Hurricane Maria, that was pretty gnarly. So that just kind of like changed my life for real. So when I left Puerto Rico, I left like so strong. Like it wasn't the best show, but I left so like strong in the sense of like I'm gonna work every fucking day of my life to fucking kick ass, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
let's bring it a little lighter. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up. I did have a couple questions left, just like rapid fire ones, if you're down.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because
hit him with it.
I like to think this podcast is not only friends getting together. It's not only about film. It's also a product of its time, the times we live in 2019.
Okay.
So you can say as much or as little as you want on this topic.
Get ready.
Topics, and we'll just fly through.
Get ready, dude.
Okay. As much as or little as you want, just we'll fly through them. What do you think about Build the Wall?
Build to the wall.
Build the wall. You know how Trump wants to build the wall.
Build the wall.
What are your thoughts?
That's ridiculous. First of all, why are we wasting times as humans and arguing and shit that should just be resolved? We got to work together and move forward in human and society. We're so fucking fucked.
So the answer is no.
Yeah. So we're so fucking. Oh my god. We gotta spend money. We gotta stop spending money on military and like weird shit and like.
Is it no to...
There's no reason for poverty and all. Sorry. No. You just opened up a can of worms.
Well, is it no to border security or just no to the wall?
No, definitely we need border security. Yeah, sure. Dude. Look, man, I get it. If there was a fucking stampede of elephants headed towards West Hollywood right now, I would like a wall.
I'd be like, oh, it's the
I would
Pride
like
Parade.
a wall so I could stop the stampede of elephants. I get it. There's no fucking stampede of Mexican crazy or any Latin American people that come crossing the border. First of all, there's no caravan.
I'm just kidding.
No, first of all, dude, there's like a 90% chance of you dying just like crossing the border,
yeah.
just by hanging out in that like whatever 1,200 square mile. Yeah, it's last round. Look at Robert Patrick.
Dude, he just died out there with Robert Patrick.
They died.
He's still there.
Fucking wall.
Thank you. Next question. Favorite TV show right now, 2019?
Say it deep into the mic.
The Oath. It's The Oath.
This is the tough one.
This is the one that stumps him, huh?
Game of Thrones last season?
Well, Game of Thrones hasn't come out yet. It comes out very soon.
Could still be a favorite TV show.
But favorite TV show in 2019?
Well, just on
so
right now.
far.
Last
So
couple
far.
years, yeah.
Oh, last couple years.
I don't want to. Whatever you want.
You're supposed to say the oath.
Aaron's like, I just want you to say something. Dudes, I don't know, man. You got me. I think True Detective season
three?
1.
Oh,
Season 1. Season 1 is great.
Season
Did you
one's
see
the
season
best.
3?
Season 3 is great, but I'm so tired of staring at Maliki's face when he's like, I can't remember. Whatever is his name.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali is an incredible actor. What an incredible actor, man.
Yeah,
That
I
guy.
haven't seen season 3.
Season 3 is so good, way better
Yeah.
than 2.
Dude,
He's a great actor.
way
He's
better
really
than
good.
2. He's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
But
he's
the other
good.
guy did. Both those guys did great.
Mahala's a shit, dude. That guy, he's like Eddie Murphy without
Without the comedy.
the comedy and the shadiness.
Was Eddie Murphy shady?
That's another episode.
All right. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Smart.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? If the four of us invented that shit, we would be like, dude,
Wouldn't be here right now.
let's go in a helicopter and crash it and escape.
What's your thoughts on Aladdin, the new movie? Is it going to be good?
Holy shit. Oh my God, you would never see me. I would never pay. Dude, there's more entertainment in a Tijuana donkey show, dude. I've
How many of
seen
those have you seen?
Why such malice? and hate?
I've seen more uplifting entertainment in a Tijuana donkey
All
show.
right, time out. Hey, time out, Raph.
Is this
right,
all Disney? Or?
No, dude, how can you fuck that up? Like, first of all,
Hang on a second.
it's a cartoon. Second of all, if you're gonna do live animation, like a live
action.
one, dude, you gotta do it right. That looks like shit. And
All right.
Will Smith as a genie, come on, bro.
Well, you know they're doing the same songs from the original. Do you think Will Smith's going to have a rap track over A Friend Like Me? Or
I will slit my throat in front of children in a Disney theater.
What if they were like, hey, we want you to DP this?
hell yeah.
Hell yes.
There you go.
He'll make
There
it
you
good.
go.
He'll make it good.
I will make it look so sick if
Nice.
Disney, but I would take a different approach. But see, that's not my approach because that's the
That's
director's
what
approach.
they want to do. All right.
But Will Smith as a genie, dude, that fucking.
Not feeling it? No.
I cried a little bit. Did you guys
well,
cry?
Robin Williams,
It's like we all love Will Smith. It's just he's giving us reasons not to love him, right?
It's just weird,
likable.
bro.
It's weird.
It's like make
But-
Fresh Prince the movie, not Aladdin.
Nah, dude.
Yeah,
Will Smith's
bro.
the man. But your thoughts on global warming / climate change?
Dude.
All right.
Insightful.
Man, we're in bad shape. And
Our kids, not so much us.
our grandkids are in really, really bad shape.
So we're good.
Our kids will still enjoy a month or two out of the year. You know?
That's nice.
It'll become more special. If it's just
Right.
one.
But our grandkids, by the time our grandkids are teenagers, that's like, the planet is really fucked up. And I read something recently in New York Times where like the amount of carbon monoxide we're pumping into the planet, into the atmosphere, just from the meat processing
industry?
factories.
Yeah.
It's the meat processing
farming.
factories, dude.
I know all about.
Yeah.
Oh, we all know.
They're
about
fucking. They just pump. They're just old school.
conspiracy.
vegan?
It's
Oh,
just.
Are you vegan then?
No. It's just an old school. No, dude. I fucking would hunt down a cow and
Part of the problem.
Bro, I'm throwing trash in the river,
You're just saying it is a
You
problem.
littered on the way over here.
bro. I literally.
Just like cleaned out my car out in the street where I parked. And next
I
question.
have a ritual where I take a garbage bag and I just open it up in the freeway, out the window.
Hey,
I've seen you.
You're not adopting any highways anytime
No,
soon. is
man, I'm
what
not
you're
adopting
saying.
highways, and I scream Attica.
Okay.
Joking.
My final question, not necessarily that you would, doesn't have to be your final decision. You don't have to say, I'm a Democrat. It's just the 2020 election is coming up. Trump will be challenged by somebody. It's still over a year away. Is there any Democratic candidates that stand out to you?
I haven't been paying attention, and this is a tricky one because you have to be realistic and mature about it. And all jokes aside, I don't want to joke about it anymore because this is important. But the fact is, Trump probably will win, and which sucks. And the reason why is because everything is structured. He's a fucking smart guy. You have to give it to him. The guy's atrocious. He's an animal.
Well, he's been doing.
He threw paper towels at my people. I literally, if
that,
Donald
yeah.
Trump,
in basketball.
in basketball styles, which is subliminal towards me. I don't want to talk about it, but I think he did it.
Yeah.
And if I were in the same room as him, I would neglect a handshake and say respectfully, I don't want to meet you, Mr. President. You threw paper towels on my booth.
When you say he threw paper towels, he it was supposed to be a nice thing, giving supplies, but the way he did it, he just seemed out of touch the way he did it, right?
No, fuck that. Just read between the lines. Just be a human and read between the lines. It's despicable. You don't throw paper towels like a free throw.
Well, at anybody really. It's just like
to a group of Puerto Ricans that are obviously statehood Puerto Ricans that are fans of his to stage. See, there's two sides of the coins. I could tell you what people back home thought about it, and I could tell you what people thought about it here.
What are people back home?
People back home were fucking atrocious by it because they also knew that the people that were there to catch those fucking whatever, those people that were there are actually Trump supporters, are actually
so they were
Republicans in Puerto Rico or statehood people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you really read between the lines of the 85 or 90% of people that witnessed that and saw that, whether it's any cultural, it's just disrespectful, dude.
Yeah. It felt like it was like, when I saw it, I'm like, is this like the Middle Ages and the king is just like feeding the peasants?
Yeah, bro. It felt, dude.
Out of touch.
You know?
I fucking hate him, dude.
Yeah.
I seriously, just to me, it's just despicable. But the reality is he is a very smart business guy, whether he did it right or wrong or shady or whatever. The fact is that he knows what he's doing. I mean, also he's
campaigning. He's been campaigning the last 3-4 years. So.
Yeah, dude. Also, you have to keep in mind that this all might just had to happen out of spite, out of like him being a spoiled guy who's rich and likes power and says, and someone went up to him. He's like, "Oh, you would never be the president." "Oh yeah, I would bet you. I would bet you too." And that could have happened easily because of the way he behaves. It's weird. When I was growing up, I remember I used to like civics class in my high school in Puerto Rico. And I remember having such an incredible amount of respect towards government, towards the elected, towards my governor, towards the president. I think it was Bill Clinton and all this shit. And the economy was great and all this shit. But it's fucking weird to have someone who actually does bigotry on a Twitter account. It's like weird. And you're like, dude, we're supposed to look out. Like if I went and sent my kids to school and they're 3 or 4 years old, right? And you remember the days in pre-kinder? You guys fucking remember that shit?
Mm-hmm. We went to pre-K.
Right. You remember how innocent you are and you look up to the whatever and you're learning the Star Spangled Banner and all that shit, right? Dude, you look up to the president as a glorified, nice person. He's like supposed to be a gentleman and all that shit. You have a president now that spends his weekend insulting people in a Twitter account. It says a lot, dude. And it's a different time. It's a different time. He woke up the zombies in middle America, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He woke up Buckfuck Joe from Oklahoma. And he said, "You know what, darling? I'm going to go outside and kill everyone. And after that, I'm going to vote for Trump."
Hold on. After that, they're going to drive in their Chevy.
Well,
hey,
a lot of people felt disenfranchised too, and they were hoping you'd change.
I have a Chevy, bro.
Hey, you're feeding into the problem.
Hey.
Anyways, let's do another hour on Trump, and then.
Anyway, dude. So
call me back. Let's talk about Trump on episode 9.
it's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Trump Power.
The Trump Power Hour. All right. So where can the audience find you on social media, all that kind of stuff?
Instagram.
Which is what is all right, great.
I love my whatever.
Actually, you have really dope like stills on Instagram. So
thanks, man. You can just Google me. It sounds really ridiculous, but you can Google me. You can see my.
So your full name for the folks at home?
Rafael Leyva, Rafael Leyva. You can go to Rafael Leyva DP, rleivadp.com. That's my website, and Instagram at Rafael Leyva DP.
Dope.
And you're plugging the Crackle Show right now, right? That's what people need to watch.
The Oath.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a
We're gonna
we should have another episode. We should have another episode about
We will
this.
definitely do
definitely
that.
coming
We're gonna
back.
watch.
Because I wanna talk about the Oath.
All right. So okay.
I just want to say some things here. A little
current
bit.
projects, future projects you're working on right now.
Believe it or not, this is kind of cool. I'm trying not to jinx it, but I'll
you don't have to say a lot. Just give a little tease.
Okay. I've been really secretive of this. It's been keeping me up all night the last couple of months.
I can tell you haven't slept.
I shot something on film for Spielberg.
Oh, nice,
and
dude.
I'm trying to get in consideration for second unit DP on West Side Story.
Oh, sick. Yeah, the
Wow.
musical
Prepping
he's doing,
and-
right? Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
So I shot something for him, and I can show it to you guys. I wanted to show it to you guys, and then I've had my first phone call. I don't want to jinx it, man. It's just like I will say this. I'm going through a growing transition where now that I have my first studio picture show from Sony Pictures and Last Rampage and all that stuff with my agency, I'm growing and I look forward to the future. And
nice.
I shot a piece for Mr. Spielberg and Janusz Kaminski, and hopefully I get considered. We'll see.
Sick, dude.
You know,
It's awesome.
I'm pretty stoked.
Dude, wish you the best of luck with that.
Thanks, man. They've been really respectful. That's the most beautiful part.
Cool.
That's what I will say about that. And any viewers out there, man, it is La La Land. I know it's fucking gnarly, and we have to deal with Instagram and super materialistic world. But just follow your heart and work really hard to what you love and what you believe. And if you're dating someone, make sure they support you. And if they don't, then it's okay. Just keep trucking along. The town is tough.
Yeah.
Hollywood is really tough, and there's nothing more beautiful than respect. So
Nice, man. I think that's a beautiful way to end it.
yeah, bro.
Nice.
I like it.
So obviously this guy is a rising star, so make sure you guys look out for him. And thank you guys for tuning in to Surviving Hollywood, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming by, dude.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you
it,
so
man.
much for having me.